Get ready
Oh, I'm ready.
to expand
Expand what?
your mind.
Oh, yeah.
Step into your greatness.
Let's do this. Welcome to the Perpetual Calling Podcast. A podcast to help you to expand your mind and step into your greatness. We're going to do it all. Interviews, challenges, trainings, all here on a weekly basis. And here's your host, Anthony Payton. Yeah, that's me.
All right, welcome to another episode of Perpetual Callings Podcast. So today, guess what we're going to cover? The three traits of a visionary leader. Yes, so there's three traits of a visionary leader. Not just a leader, just a visionary. Are you a visionary? Do you envision something more for your life, something more for yourself, something that you really want to achieve? You can see it in your mind's eye. You can feel it. So just say, pretend you're like closing your eyes right now. You might be driving, you might be at the gym or something, but just imagine your vision, where you want to be in 10 years' time. And don't let your current circumstances limit you of what you can achieve. That vision, what is it? And I want you to see that picture of you being there right now. The picture is big. So it's big, you're there, you're in the picture, looking through your own eyes, seeing everything that you want to achieve, feeling everything that you want to feel. And make it really vivid and bright and colourful. And what do you feel? Does it feel amazing? Does it feel like something that you're destined for? That this is the ultimate life, the ultimate dream that you want to achieve for your life? Everyone has different dreams and goals. And this is your dream, your purpose, your passion, your goal. And so, in creating a visionary leader, so you can come back to now. So, in being a visionary leader, there are three elements. So, the first one is being flexible. What does this mean? So, basically, just being flexible to change. Flexible when something arises out of, say, your control. So, being flexible and being able to adapt to change and circumstances. So things don't always go your way. If you're here listening to this and you've been up in ups and downs, struggles and challenges, then you know things don't go your way. And so this is when you need to be flexible in your approach, in what you're doing. So you probably noticed when you're, say, driving down a road and you might be heading to work and then suddenly there's an accident or there's some roadworks. And what do? You usually maybe get out Google Maps and try to find a different route to your work, somewhere so you don't be late. So another route. You don't really just stay the course and wait, especially if there's an accident and you could be there for hours. You don't just sit there and wait and try to bust through. No, you find another course of action, another route, another road to get around it, get you back on track. So that's what you need to do when achieving your goals and dreams. And the next one is being responsive, which is acting quickly. Acting quickly. So responsive. So you might watch football players playing footy, running down the field. Someone's about to tackle them and they put on a left step, a step around them. They're being responsive very quickly. Some of them, the big forwards, just keep running straight and maybe step a little bit, but the backs, they put on a big left step or right step. And so that's being responsive. So you want to be responsive. Flexible. So flexible So just like the car accident, you're sort of coming up to a car accident. You want to be flexible, but you don't want to get there to that accident and wait around for an hour until you make a decision to respond. So this is where the responsive side comes in. You want to act quickly. Get there. Okay. Something's happening. Out of your control. Okay, I need to respond quickly. And then the next part, which aligns with this, is commitment. Not letting go. Committing to the action you just have taken. Committing to the way you responded to what just happened. So that's part of committing and not letting go, basically. You're responding, your commitment, you committed to the outcome, to the direction you're going. So think about this. Birds. So you know the ibis birds, those birds, they're white with big long beaks, and so they fly in a V-shaped formation. So they fly in these formations, and their wings are basically synced up, and when they flap their wings in the V-shaped formation, they do this so they can take advantage of the updrafts and save their energy. And then when the front bird, the front ibis, starts to lag and his energy is starting to drain, they quickly change positions. They're very flexible, so they adapt to the change very quickly, respond quickly, and then they're committed to it. So just like you, with what you want to achieve, your goals, your desires, your dreams, in business, health, relationships, when you are going towards it, that's where those three traits come in, almost basically 3 steps, you could call it. It's kind of like myself. A couple of years ago, probably about 5 years, 6 or 7 years ago, I was riding a dirt bike and had a big accident, and I torn my ACL. And I actually didn't know anything about. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't actually go get checked. And it was like a week before Christmas, and I was down the coast at my dad's place, and so I was just on the couch for a week, for probably 2 weeks after that, and I thought it started getting better, and I was like, okay, it's fine. And then over the years, about 2, 3, 4 years, I'd sort of have episodes where I'd just like hyperextend my knee and it'll click out, and then I'd be hopping around for a day or two, and then it'll get better. I was like, well, that's kind of weird. Something's going on there, but I didn't know who to see. I thought, well, this seems pretty fine after a couple of days of doing that, so I won't worry about going to get it checked. Didn't even research who to check. I was like, okay, it'll be fine. Then years went by, then I started to change my life, the direction of my life a lot, with my health, relationships, business. And one thing that helped me to grow in all other areas was improving my health and fitness. And so when I focused on that, I joined the fitness club, F45. And it's sort of like CrossFit. If you don't know what F45 is, it's kind of like CrossFit, but not as like hardcore or intense with like deadlifts and then barbell stuff. It's more free weights and lunges and squats and jumping and all that sort of stuff. And so when I joined F45, so I started getting in, and so it's just 45 minutes of high intensity work. So what had happened numerous times was throughout the session, I'll get to a point where my form was going out. I was drained, but I was just kept working through it. And then I'd do some exercises, then boom, hyperextend my knee again and click it out. It was like so I'd pop it out. I was like, oh shit. So obviously I'd have to sit out the rest of the training and then head home, put some ice on it. And so this happened probably within a 6-month period. This happened 3 times. I was like, shit, something is really wrong with my knee. So I started seeing the physio. He's like, yeah, you've I'm pretty sure you've torn your ACL. And I told him about the experience having the accident on the dirt bike, and he's like, well, look, you want to be very careful because you might tear your meniscus, which is basically the padding for your joints, and the ACL is basically stopping your knee from hyperextending, which is like a ligament in between your say your upper leg bone. So I'm not very technical here. So upper leg bone and the lower one, and so I torn that, and now each time I hyperextend my knee, it would start twisting it, and then twisting and could tear my meniscus. And so I was like, yeah, no worries. So I went back to the gym and started working out again and again. And then, lo and behold, what happened again? I did a big lunge this time. I had one of those sandbags. I think I had it over my shoulders. Doing like a horizontal lunge. And doing that 3-4 times. And like on the fifth one, boom! And I pretty much dropped to the ground then. I was like, oh, shit, hopefully, it felt a little bit worse than what usually had happened, but I was like, nah, it should be fine. So I went back to the physio, iced it for a few days, went back to the physio, and then gave me massages. And a few days later, I was like, oh, it doesn't seem like it's getting better. It's not getting better. And so, a week, 2 weeks went by, and I couldn't run. Something was real. Like, I knew I did something totally which took it too far. I was like, oh, shit, I'm going to have to bite the bullet. I'm going to have to get surgery now. And I didn't have life insurance, so it was going to cost me like 10 grand. And so I had an MRI, and lo and behold, yes, I torn my meniscus. Not like a tear, like some people tear it across and they can just, when they have surgery, they just get it cut off. No, the meniscus was torn horizontally. And so basically so I had surgery, and what he basically did was put stitches in it, you could almost call it. And so I was on crutches for 3 months, and 3 months basically, if you've ever been on crutches, just in a week of not using your legs, week to 2 weeks, you lose all muscle definition in that leg. So it's basically skin and bones. And there's not much weight to me anyway, so I was pretty much skin and bones within like 3 days. And so on that leg, and so come back to this, 3 traits of a visionary leader is you've got to be flexible, responsive, and committed. So like flexible, adapting to change. So what had happened is I was getting super fittest I've ever been in my whole life. When I joined F45, I was 30, 31, 32, and I was the fittest I've ever been in my life after going there. But then had this accident on crutches for like 3 months, through rehab for another 6 to 9 months. So it was pretty much a year after that, and I lost all my fitness again. So being flexible, so I was adapting to being like coming from high fitness to not being very fit at all, and then having to work back into the fitness routine. Getting back into that routine. So I just had a drink. Getting back into that routine and really committed to it, and knowing that health is the number one thing that gives me energy to work on my business, to do this podcast, to be with my family, build relationships. So it's the number one thing I need to look after, that everyone should look after. And so adapting to change. So from F45, having surgery on my knee, having to build my strength back up. I'm still building it now. Right now, I can't extend my knee fully, and I can't flex it fully either. But I'm working on getting back to it. And then just from my knee and not actually having full mobility in it, it's actually had effect on other areas of my life, on my hip, and then also my shoulders, and they're all interrelated. So I'm adapting to change, being flexible. Like every week, there's something that is pretty much hurting on my body, and I do sit a lot. And they say the sitting is the new smoking, which it is. So I do get up often, walk around, stretch. But it's all about coming back to the 3 traits. It's all about being flexible and adapting to change, because we don't know what's going to happen, and things are going to pop up which put us in a new direction and challenges. And so that's where we need to really be flexible, respond quickly, and be committed. So that's the 3 traits of a visionary leader. Now I'll give you another example. So James Cameron, he produced that movie Avatar. Do you know he invested $200 million of his own money into Avatar? He was committed. He was flexible, and he had to raise $900 million from other people. And how did he do this? We basically gave an amazing vision of the movie, of what he wanted to do, the look, the feel, the sound. Like at the start of this podcast, I gave you that visualization process. He basically did that when he tried to raise the money, or when he did raise the money. And so he would have had to be flexible, adapting to change, finding different investors, finding the people who wanted to invest. And he was responsive. He would have been responsive, acted quickly, and he was committed to doing this movie. And well, I guess you would have been committed after putting $200 million of your own money into it, but he raised the rest of it. So let's just do a quick overview, and that's it for today. So 3 traits of a visionary leader. So flexible, be flexible, adapt to change, because things are going to change. Nothing's a straight road. Nothing's a straight line. And then responding quickly, acting quickly to things that change. Don't sit on them and dwell on them and start getting in your head saying, well, maybe it's not going to work. Maybe I'm not meant to do this. No, you just want to act quick, be responsive. And then have that commitment, committed to do whatever it takes, committing to not letting go, committing to that goal, that vision, your purpose. So that's it for today. That's the 3 traits of a visionary leader. So thanks for joining again, guys. Don't forget there's a 7-step training in the other episodes, the early episodes from 5 to 11, I think. So if you haven't been through that, go back, listen to that, rate and review us. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you again soon. Ciao.
This has been a Perpetual Calling podcast. For more info about coaching with Anthony, come and join his community, The Limitless Warrior, at www.thelimitlesswarrior.com.